control. I'm just trying to get that money like 1-0-0-0-0-0-0-0-0-0. I'm here with Gino.
Hey, danger, coming with them bangers. Tell me where my paper. Still on the same mission, trying to live major. Don't hate me, hate the game. I'm a player. Feeling like Pac. Represent. On my block. Try to knock me down, but I come up on top. Yeah, they wanna see me flop. Got a plot, want a lot. I won't stop on my pops. Got so many flows, it's insane. They don't really understand the game. Got a plan and it's plain, I ain't playing. I'm just trying to gain. I wanna get that big bag, need that big racks. Blow up Tic Tac with a blue cheese at. I don't give a fuck about your feedback. Eat that, get back, sit back, watch me spit that kickback. Got so many flows, yeah, they think that I'm insane. Ghetto kids in a lot of pain, all about the bills, ain't shit changed. Danger, coming with them bangers. Tell me where my paper. Still on the same mission, trying to live major. Don't hate me, hate the game, I'm a player. If you a hater, I don't hate you. I'm just really happy that I ain't you. I just wanna thank you. You kept me motivated, so now I motivate you. There's a lot of cake, money on my mind like a banker. Coming through with them bangers, ain't no room for mistakes. Lot of stake, hustle till we get a lot of rooms, lot of stakes. Good kid, but I keep it gangsta. All gas, no brakes. Got cash for the case. More cash in the case. More cash in the safe. More cash on the way. Hustling all day. Ay. Danger, coming with them bangers. Tell me where my paper. Still on the same mission, trying to live major. Don't hate me, hate the game. I'm a player.
Danger, coming with them bangers. Where my fucking paper.
Up or down, we get paid either way. Long when it bounce, short when it break. Yeah. Up or down, we get paid either way. Long when it bounce, short when it break. Market go red, that's dinner on place. If you only win one way, you late. Yeah. Up or down, we get paid either way. Money in the bank when the candles shake. Broke boys pray, we calculate. If you fear both sides, you too late. Yeah. Price go up, I ride the wave. Price fall fast, I short the gray. They need green just to feel okay. I make money in a hurricane. If you bullish, only you half a trader. Market turn red, you a spectator. I stay paid in every layer. Volatility, my elevator. They panic selling, I'm scaling in. They revenge trade, I'm stacking wins. They chasing candles, I fade the trend. Then cash out calm while they hold the L. You want direction, I want range. You want hope, I want exchange. You want luck, I want edge. That's why my account don't beg. Up or down, we get paid either way. Long when it bounce, short when it break. Market go red, that's dinner on place. If you only win one way, you late. Up or down, we get paid either way. Money in the bank when the candles shake. Broke boys pray, we calculate. If you fear both sides, you too late. I don't need green candles to eat. If you're scared too short, you're scared to win. Profit don't care about direction. Bulls celebrate, bears pay me. Volatility is my direct deposit. Your hope is my liquidity. I don't predict opposition. Fear is where the entries live. You pray for pumps, I prepare for dumps. I make money in corrections and celebrations. The trend is your religion. The range is my income. If the chart move, I get paid. Yeah. Up or down, we get paid either way. Long when it bounce, short when it break. Market go red, that's dinner on place. If you only win one way, you late. Up or down, we get paid either way. Money in the bank when the candles shake. Broke boys pray, we calculate. If you fear both sides, you too late.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On the road, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream. Bitcoin. She went for it. She tried to hit the high up at 74K with a slight front run and a pretty much immediate nuke back to the downside. What are we expecting next, guys? Are we still looking for $80,000? Are we coming down first? Are we breaking the lows? As Bitcoin pretty much, as of right now, continuing to chop around sideways, guys. We're going to take a look at Market Cypher B, some of the money flow, and we'll talk about kind of the difficult situation that we're dealing with there. And, yeah, I'll give you guys my overall thoughts on where I think price is going next. We'll talk about some of the trades, how I am personally positioned for the move up or the move down. We'll talk probabilities in either direction. We have some key support down below if we're going to see that continuation. And then, of course, if you guys watch any of the live streams or the market updates this week, you will know that line in the sand to the downside. I'll go over that as well. And just overall, what I'm expecting next here for the Bitcoin price. Shout out to the Mafia. Thank you guys for tuning in. We got Servando Estrada. Long time no see, bro. He was in the premium live stream a few minutes ago. Shout out to Erica. Welcome in. We got Cigar Itachi in the chat. Said 80K, yes, in 3 years. Shout out to Cigar Itachi. But yeah, guys, we obviously do have a major level above that, if broken, could indicate that we are going to see that move to 80K. We have the low volume gap above. But, of course, I'll cover the bearish case, the bullish case. I'll let you guys kind of know which way I'm leaning, if I am leaning one way or the other, and if I am just kind of neutral, how am I making money, whether price goes up or down. So you guys can start doing that as well. We got Thesis Hood in the chat, said 65 to 74K. We'll talk about that. 65K would be the biggest key level, in my opinion. But we do have some local support, very similar to what we've looked at in the past live streams. But yeah, let's see. We got Mr. Market in the chat, said Tweezer Top. Oh, God, Tweezer Top. We got Creators Crypto in the chat, said, where's Rob? Rob is, actually, Rob might come. Rob might come tonight because we are late a little bit. We are live a little bit later today, so he might be able to. The earlier live streams are harder for him to catch. CK said, Frankie, will price go up or will it go down? You have a 50-50 shot to be correct. That is dang right. I think it will go slightly down, then a little bit up, and then we'll come down a little bit more than it went down before, and then potentially back up a little bit, and maybe back up past the high. But yeah, I'll kind of show you guys. I am pretty neutral within this range, guys, to be quite honest, as I've talked about in the past. But of course, we are long from the value area low, just waiting for those high probability trade setups. I know everybody wants to know, are we going to 80K or not? It's not that simple, but I'll show you guys kind of how I'm, me and the premium Discord are able to make money, whether price, we don't have to know 100% whether we're going to get that breakout. We are prepared for it. We are positioned for it. And if it doesn't happen, well, hey, we're actually positioned for that as well. So I'll kind of break that down, how we got into that position, and how you guys can start doing that as well. Let's see. Shout out to Rudy. Welcome in. Says up. Let's do it. All right, guys. So without further ado, Jesse in the chat. Let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Let's get into it. All right. So here we are, guys. Attempting to deviate above the value area high. Shout out to Lost. Says Delusional Frankie going to get all his viewers wrecked. Wow. Well, shout out to Lost. Seem a little bit lost there, my friend. But yeah, as always, guys, you should never just copy what someone on YouTube does, even if they make money. But of course, we do have a trading plan here, guys. And yeah, I don't know. Definitely not wrecked here. Definitely not wrecked here. But I guess we'll just start off with this, right? So did take the short from not the high previously. I actually did get stopped out of a short position. Of course, risk management is always going to be the most important thing. I did have a local short from this high. Was actually up about $1,000 there. I was looking for the POC. The POC didn't get hit. Oh, my God, you're wrecked. Not really. I just got stopped out for a small loss. But, of course, I already have profits locked in on the short position. This short position here, I got $3K locked in, about $1,000 unrealized. It was the short from up here that we took. Obviously not getting FOMO long there. Looking for the short positions. We came into the key level with the bearish confirmations, went ahead and took that trade, locked in the profits, now a guaranteed winning trade. If we wind up getting the yeet to $80,000, not only will I lock in that $3K of profit, but we also have the long from the value area low, currently up $4,400. So yeah, definitely not wrecked there. But kind of the thought process here, guys, very similar to when we came up to this high. Obviously, we do have that big volume gap. Let me see if I still have it on the chart here. We do have the massive volume gap down, up above us here. And this gap is here, right? Like, regardless of if we're able to fill it now or we have to come down first, that's kind of what I'm going to cover today. But, of course, we have the high volume node here. We have the high volume node here. The low volume gap above us. Of course, these low volume gaps do indicate this is part of the big reason why we were able to make tens of thousands, or me personally, obviously, depending on your position size, I was able to make tens of thousands of dollars on this big drop to the downside. And a big portion of understanding that we would see this move down was based off money flow as well as this low volume gap. Once we lost these lows, there's pretty much nothing but air underneath you, putting you in an environment where a very aggressive drop to the downside would be very likely. So we hold the shorts from 98K, we hold the shorts from 91 and $90,000, and we continue to capitalize on those positions. Obviously, I am still holding those. I have massive profits locked in on those. Obviously, nowhere near those entries, but so I am still holding those as well, or at least a portion of those. But the trades that I just showed were just this short and then this long, right? Of course, as we push into that low volume gap, we know that there is an opportunity. It's kind of the same situation. Anytime we come above here, guys, this is the biggest level on the chart. If we get above $75,000, where we have this previous high, we just barely front ran that level. But we have that $75,000 high. We also have the anchored VWAP pulled from about $98,000 sitting up there. This is the level that we've been looking at all week, 75 to about 74K. Go ahead and mark that off as resistance, right? This is two things, right? It is major resistance, but I wouldn't even really, I mean, it's very important resistance, right? I will be interested in potential fake outs of the range high once again, but if we are able to reclaim this level, guys, this is the biggest level on the chart to the upside, in my opinion. Not even my opinion. It really is just the level. If we get up there, right, opportunities to look for another fake out, potentially, I will be open to that if we get up there. But once we flip this anchored VWAP to support, of course, this is where we could get accepted into that gap, and we could eventually see that big squeeze up towards about $78,000 to $80,000, right? Of course, I'll cover the bearish case as well, but this is what we need. We need to flip this anchored VWAP. Again, currently coming in at about 75K. This will move if price comes up. You know, this is going to move slowly. But at the end of the day, once we get above that $75,000 level, there's really not much above us other than just low volume into our next major key level, which is daily MPOCs. Pull those up, right? We have a daily MPOC starting here at about 78,900, all the way up to about $80,000. Now, I will be paying attention. The high volume node does come down here to about 78K. So I've kind of been saying $78,000 to $80,000. You'd have to incorporate that as resistance. But once we get above this anchored VWAP and the previous high, not only do we have the low volume gap continuing, but we also have liquidity sitting above this high, right? We came up, we front ran the liquidity. We did not sweep any of that. So if we do get up there, right, once those shorts start getting stopped out and liquidated, it could add more buy pressure to the market, continuing that squeeze to the upside. And then this is the key level to flip. Once we get above there, guys, it's pretty smooth road to about $78,000 to $80,000. Now, we've covered this many a times on the channel. We covered this even up here, right? And this is where I think a lot of people get confused. A lot of people want to come in and they want to be like, are we going to 80K from here? Should I buy right now and go to 80K? Now, of course, you can do whatever you want. But my long positions and my short positions are always going to be based off the technical factors, right? Up here, we also had the low volume gap. Let me draw this out for you guys, right? The larger low volume gap really comes up to about $87,000, 86 to 87K, right? So we kind of marked off this low volume gap like this, right? Very clear low volume, high volume node, pretty low volume, very low volume at that. But of course, right, it doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to get accepted into it, right? And some people would say like, oh, hey, we have the low volume gap there. If we break in here, aren't we supposed to go up? Well, it's not really that simple, right? At least trading is not going to be that simple. And of course, if we were able to stay inside this range, right, or stay inside this low volume gap and continue up, right, well, you have that anchored VWAP above you. But other than that, right, like that's kind of where the low volume gap comes into play. But does that stop us from taking the short position at the high here? Absolutely not. Why? It's very similar to what we looked at here. It's very similar to what we're going to be looking at up here. Once we get up here, we had two daily naked points of controls. We see those bearish confirmations, guys. We're going to go ahead and take those short positions. That's why I am in that short position currently, right? Again, I already have like most of the profit locked in. But of course, right, I think a lot of people get confused. Well, I thought if we get above this level, we're going to go up. You have to understand that the market is not just that simple, right? Even if we are going to fill this gap is here regardless of if we fill it sooner or later, right? Whether we hold, and we'll talk about this, right? Potentially break the high and then see it squeeze. This is an opportunity, but of course, guys, if we get accepted back into this range, we still have key support underneath us. But of course, price can always go up or down. The key is understanding where to take the high probability trades to position yourself. How I'm positioned right now, which of course is if we get the bigger drop down from here, I'm covered holding this short position as well as my shorts from higher. And if we get the break up, I'm also holding the long from here. But I did not take this long position because there was a low volume gap up here. I took this long position because this was a key area of interest we were waiting for. Our alerts go off. We get the confirmations. I take that trade, right? I like to take my longs at the value area low or deviations below. I like to take my shorts on deviations above the value area high or even sometimes taps into that value area high. So up here, it's not a difficult situation, but binarily saying it's going to go to 80K or it's not going to go to 80K is just simply not true. At the end of the day, price could hold and break, or it could fail and give you the rotation of the value. That's what I capitalized on here. If I got stopped at, and it played out perfectly, but this could have potentially stopped me out. And if it did, and we got above that anchored VWAP, we would see that move to 80K. But it's very simple. We have the daily MPOCs up here. We see the alerts. We see the confirmations. We look for the short. Right? Doesn't mean the short's guaranteed to play out, even though it did, right? Doesn't mean that it's guaranteed. But of course, risk management is the most important thing, right? If your losses are smaller than your wins, you will be profitable over time, right? Unless you lose like 150 trades in a row, which is very difficult to do. If you could do that, dang, that's almost more talented than being a good trader. You're gonna get lucky at some point. But at that point, right, there's always a risk to every trade. There was a risk that this wouldn't play out. I would get stopped out for a small loss, right? So it's the same thing when we get up here. I am interested in short positions, right? If I get the confirmations, if we come up here, yes, you're approaching a very key level. If it holds, you could squeeze to 80K. If we get the confirmation to short, I will take that short. If I get the entry confirmations at my key level, I will simply take that position. If it fails, well, guess what? I will stop out for a small loss, right? And I'll talk about targets down here in a second. If it fails, and we squeeze to the upside, my long from down here acts as a hedge. Very, very simple, right? And then, of course, if we continue down, I'll be honest here. I would prefer drop to the downside just because I am holding the shorts from higher, and it would be nice to see this continue to play out. But in the bullish case, and I'm going to cover money flow here as well. If you guys remember back to, I believe it was last week's live streams or even earlier this week, last week, what we were looking at was that 10-hour money flow. Right? I talk about this all the time. The volume profiles are obviously very lucrative. The last, let me see if I have these marked out here. I don't have them. But obviously, holding a short from here, the last shorts in the premium or longs and shorts in the premium, right? We just have those high probability areas where we're likely to get a reaction, right? We lock in a bunch of profit here, guaranteed winning trade on the short. Now we're long, right? So at this point, right, shorts at the highs, longs at the lows, shorts at the highs. eventually, price is not going to range around forever, right? We're going to stay in this range until either it breaks up or it breaks down. The reason I love these volume profiles is because, and I'm going to talk about the probabilities here, which there are some mixed signals. But at the end of the day, I've talked about this, I think, on the last live stream. Price does not range around forever. When it ranges, it's very nice because you can take these high probability volume profile trades. However, eventually price is going to break up or break down. How do we identify what those probabilities are? Well, that is where I look at money flow. And one of the big things that we looked at here on this initial pop to the upside was, hey, I'm interested in shorts here, but with this 10-hour money flow attempting to cross into the green, and you can see we did get the crossover into the green. We faked out back into the red, but from a trending perspective, guys, this money flow is still trending to the upside, and now we're back in the green. So we got a little fake out into the green, little fake out into the red, but overall we are trending to the upside. And the overall thought process here was, hey, we could look for potential, right? The two major levels of support we were looking at was the value area high. Once that fails, we let the short play down to fill the value in full, which was absolutely beautiful. This was an area we were interested in along for a very specific reason. If money flow is coming up on the higher time frames, which was also paired with the weekly green dot printing, which is a market cipher B 1/16 strategy, we view the market as, hey, this could be a lackluster pullback for a higher low and an eventual higher high, right? We don't have to fill the gap up here. But if we can catch that retracement down with the bias of, hey, money flow is coming up, we could continue the trend, I'm going to capitalize on that move. If I can make a bunch of money here, why not make it, right? So that was kind of the overall thought process was, hey, we could potentially see the pullback for higher lows and higher highs. And the two major levels of support were the value area high and the value area low. This failed. We get the full rotation. Short continues to play. This is our next area of interest. We take that long. That's the long I'm holding right here. Up $4,500. And I got $3 locked in. That's just fees. But this is still valid. Is this still valid? Does this still potentially point towards 80K? Well, it definitely can, right? Now, I'm not here to guarantee that we're getting a move down to up to 80K first. And again, that does not matter to me, right? If it fails, I'm prepared. I am positioned to capitalize on the big fail. But technically, we are still putting in higher lows and higher highs, right? Why was this value area low an area of interest? Well, very simply, the value area low is where we look for longs. And it was also our golden pocket, 786 retracement, in confluence with that value area low. This was the level that we wanted to hold in order to keep that idea of a higher low open. Now, is this still valid? Well, money flow is still in the green on the 10-hour, so still technically a valid place for that to be a higher low, which is why I'm still holding this position. And when we take a look here, right, we're going over the bullish case here first, obviously. 2-week green dot potentially looking to print. I talked about this with the premium Discord earlier. If this 2-week green dot prints, technically the 1/16th of that time frame is going to be the 21-hour. That 21-hour is looking to cross over into the green. And when we look for these volume profiles to either break up or break down, if I'm looking for a continuation to the upside, what do I want money flow to look like? Well, I want a red wave crossing into the green. So from a money flow perspective, this doesn't look that bad for me, right? This actually looks like we could potentially see the larger trend continue to the upside, which is very nice because, again, we have that low volume gap above assisting a big move up, and then you have that clear line in the sand, which is the anchored VWAP, right? Stay below the anchored VWAP, downtrend can continue, right? But once we flip it, very easy squeeze up towards the $80,000 zone. So money flow, I mean, just look at it. Big red wave coming into the green. You have the 2-week green dot potentially looking to print. And I'm, of course, going to ruin everybody's day by showing you the bearish case. But again, all I can do is talk about the bearish case, the bullish case, and which side has more evidence pieces, right? So when I just give like my general sentiment here, I've been talking about how I'm kind of neutral within this range, and it's for a very specific reason. But when we look at the 21-hour money flow, this, if I'm looking for a move up, this looks good. Right? If I look at the 12-hour money flow, if I'm looking for a continuation up, this looks good. Money flow is crossing green, indicating that the trend can continue to the upside, just like it was here on the 10-hour. This is not invalidated yet, right? This is still a higher low. Low, high, higher low, potential higher high, right? With the clear line in the sand of $75,000. Get above here, squeeze to 80K is open. Until then, I'm going to be interested in potentially fading this if I get the confirmations. If I don't get the confirmations, I'll sit in the long. It'll continue to play out. But all this money flow, 12-hour, 16-hour, crossing into the green. The 21-hour, crossing into the green. The daily, still kind of, well, this is kind of where the mud enters the water here, guys. Daily money flow kind of is trying to come up. It's not very clean. It's not as clean as the 21 hour. 21 hour is actually like, this looks very good for a continuation up. So when I look at this at face value, guys, this money flow does not look bad. This does not mean buy Bitcoin right now. It's about to go to 80K, right? You can't trade like that. You have to wait for the key levels, and I'll cover the key levels to the downside. But if I'm looking at these time frames, the higher hourly time frame money flows, right? VWAP. What is the VWAP doing? VWAP is curving down. What does that mean? It means a red dot could potentially be incoming. What do red and green dots indicate? The ebbs and flows in the market. Green dot, red dot, green dot, red dot, green dot, red dot. What does money flow indicate? It indicates the overall trend. Exactly what we look for here. Yes, the correction here can bring price down, but when money flow comes up, you are open. The reason we're open to this long position and still holding it is because this is an area where a higher low can come in. If money flow is coming up, the higher low is a valid option. So that's how I'm viewing the market, right? Now, this kind of sounds good, right? You got the gap above you, low resistance on the way up once you break 75K. Money flow is coming to the upside on many different higher time frames. Now, ruin my day, Frankie. And of course, right, like I'm kind of neutral here. I'm trading this as a range. Again, if we go down, I make money. If we go up, I make money. It's not like I'm taking a long and a short right now and just gambling on come up, I make money, come down, I make money, right? That's not how this works, right? I'm longing and shorting the key levels, locking in profit, guaranteeing the win. Guaranteeing the win. If we continue up, the long plays out, the short stops out in profit, I make thousands of dollars, right? It is strategic. It's not just longing and shorting at the same time, crossing our fingers and hoping. But money flow, it's hard for me to sit up here and be like, this looks like we're about to get a fresh move to the downside. Now, the thing that steps on that, guys, is I cover this on almost every live stream. In a bear market, the money flow has a much higher probability of spending a lot more time in the red. This is where I bring up the 2021 price action, right? And we actually pulled this fractal on the premium live stream because this actually looks kind of similar. Money flow can very oftentimes spend a lot more time in the red. You can see we have a crossover into the red right here. Very clear continuation to the downside as you would expect based off money flow. But here, money flow is coming into the green. So, in this scenario, I would have to be looking at money flow as like, well, hey, guys, this range is bing-bonging around. We have money flow coming up. This looks like it could get a higher probability of a breakout to the downside. Why did we melt down here? Well, the context and the environment that you're trading in is very important. This is a bear market, right? So these fake outs on money flow are not uncommon. And this is why when we look at the current price action, it's not like because of the market environment, because we're in a bear market, it's very hard for me to say, like, at face value, this looks good for continuation up, right? That just is what it is. Is it going to shock me if this fakes out? It's not always like this, right? Up here, it was very confident, or I was very confident personally, that this was going to be a lower high and a lower low for many different reasons, right? I won't go over them all, right? But a lot of it had to do with money flow, right? This range is much more likely to break down than break up to kind of push us deeper into a bear market. So it's kind of easy to lean on that, right? Because if money flow is going to stay in the red, right, well, those money flow crossovers, you're going to want to be greedy with those shorts like we are with the $98,000 short, and you want to be conservative with the longs. We were conservative with the long from 85K. We flipped short at 98K, and we were more greedy with this than we were with this, right? We capitalize on that move to the upside, bag a little bit of cash, and then we flip short and ride that continuation of the bigger trend. So when we're in a bear market, right, money flow, it's hard. Like face value, this looks good. Right, but if this fakes out, I'm not going to be super shocked. Well, Frankie, like if it's going to fake out, then like what do you do? Right, I am positioned for this. If we melt down and that money flow fakes out, I'll be like, that wasn't super shocking. But I'm also making money on that because I'm positioned correctly. But at face value, money flow looks good on these higher time frames. This is our best argument to get that continuation to the upside, on top of the fact that you have that low volume gap above us. Right, get up here, flip 75K. This is the next target. Right? This is open. Now, with our high time frame, higher hourly time frame, like the 16-hour red dot, how do I view this? Well, very simple. It's binary. Money flow is crossing into the green. Although I have in the back of my head that a bear market is a little bit more favorable towards red money flow and fake outs are possible, I take this at face value. Money flow is crossing into the green. I have to look at this red dot just like I looked at it here. An ebb or flow to the downside for a potential higher low. Right? So if this 16-hour red dot prints, I would still be viewing this. I'll give you the key levels to the downside that I'll be watching. kind of remains the same as what we've been looking at for potential higher lows and higher highs. I would say until we lose that $65,000 we're already bouncing off the golden pocket, so I'll take that off the chart, right? This is already tapped. The biggest level to the downside still remains really the 786 daily MPOC, right? Until we end up losing that 786 decisively, the thought process here, based off money flow for a continuation of the uptrend, is open, right? Doesn't mean that price can't ebb or flow down like it did here, right? But if we're going to look for the continuation up, I would prefer, whoops, bear with me here, guys. My fat fingers messed it up there. The two biggest levels underneath us, obviously value area high is going to be local, but if we get a bigger correction to the downside, I'm going to be looking at the POC, and I'll take off the range to kind of make it a little simpler, right? Very simple here. Money flow is coming up. Continuation of the uptrend is likely, right? Just based off that information. Where would I like to hold a higher low? I would like to hold a higher low on the golden pocket, 786. So if that 16-hour red dot prints, this zone right here is going to be the biggest local level of support. 69 to about 67.3. In that case, right, again, I don't have to worry about taking trades here because I'm already long from the low. But if we get here, this would be a valid place for a higher low to form. Where's the highest probability area for the higher low to form? Well, it's going to be the golden pocket 786. So if that red dot prints, we get a bigger cool off. This is the most important level of support. This is the first major area that I would look at for a higher low and a higher high. If we don't break above the 75K high sooner than later, we get the cool off, still open here for a higher low. Mark this off on your chart. 69,845 to 67,260. Very, very simple. If we lose that 786, I will simply be looking down to the last resort level of support. 64,814, pretty much 65K, right? 65K to 63,851. Once we lose this, guys, same old thing we've been talking about. We lose this, I'm going to be looking for a new low on Bitcoin. Does this line up with money flow? No. Does money flow line up with a continuation up? Yes. Are fake outs on money flow into the green and back into the red likely in a bear market? Yes. So do I have to keep this open as an idea? Yes. Does that make sense? Price can go up or down. If you can position yourself correctly, you don't have to have 100% certainty whether you're going up or not. But I would say money flow in the higher time frames is all coming up. This is good at face value for a continuation of the uptrend. It would be nice if we get a pullback and we hold this level. If not, last chance. Once you lose this, I'm looking for a new low, pretty much below $60,000. I prefer personally, the market is not always going to give you what you prefer. I personally prefer the drop down, not from a probability perspective, just from like a personal perspective. I would like to come down here, and why is that, right? Well, if we pull up our high time frame supports, right, they all sit right down here, right? So, and what would that do? If we lose this level and we come down here, this sets us up to potentially print a very nice 2-day bullish divergence. If we had massive high time frame bull divs down here, guys, I would feel a lot more confident in the move up being the first thing. We don't have that, right? So I'm stuck here trying to think like, hey, if that 2-day red dot prints, I'd love this 2-day bull div for a much bigger continuation up. We don't have any high time frame bull divs on the chart right now. It doesn't mean you can't bounce. It doesn't mean you can't continue up. But that's why, just to explain to you guys why I prefer to see something like that, because it'd be a lot better in my opinion. I'd be so interested in longs down here to get that bigger move up, because at that point, if you get all your money flow coming up, you have the high time frame bullish confirmations, it's just a stronger scenario. So right now, the way I'm handling things is until we lose the $65,000 zone down here, I am, number one, going to be open to the continuation of the uptrend. Money flow is pointing that way, right? So until we break here, the idea is the continuation of the uptrend. I'm going to continue to hold my long. If we lose this, that is where my shorts will just continue to pay me down to the next biggest level of support. And then hopefully, if that does happen, right, we can get that 2-day bull div and really start talking about how this looks like a really good bottom. It's a bit of a difficult situation, right? But it doesn't mean you can't have a clear plan. My plan is very simple. I mean, my plan's kind of like comfortable right now because I don't really have to do much, right? I'm just going to sit in my positions. One of them is going to wind up ripping. One of them is going to get stopped out, paying me thousands of dollars. If we come down, right, again, the idea is the continuation of the uptrend. Level number 1, here. Level number 2, and last opportunity, here. Once that breaks, higher probability becomes a new low. If I were not holding the positions I'm in right now, in that super comfortable situation, I would have to be looking at potential long positions down here, potential long positions down here. Now, we did barely front run this level. If we had come up and swept this high, I'd probably be holding another short right here, right? I'm a trader. I make money on these ebbs and flows, right? I make money every time price moves up or down. I never take a long position, right? Very rarely, guys, am I going to say, I'm going to long here, guys, and then it's 80K next. I could have a target of 80K, but it's never going to be as simple as like, I'm longing here. I got some secret signal that's telling me 80K is guaranteed. There's never going to be that situation. But of course, that's not going to stop you from making money if you understand how to view the market. So money flow doesn't look bad. I'm open to higher lows and higher highs. These are the biggest key levels. Lose that, I'll be looking for a move down. Now, the shorts are a little bit more difficult because, again, like I said, if we had swept this high, I would say that's a valid short position. We front ran that level. My alerts don't go off. I don't take the trade, right? I just didn't hit my key level. Do I care that I missed this move down? Absolutely not, right? Again, I just showed you, obviously making money on the positions I've already taken. So that's the overall plan. Money flow looks good. Looking for the higher lows and higher highs. If we get back up here, I'll be interested in shorts. Maybe I take it doesn't play out, and the long continues to play. I don't know. I don't know what price is going to look like if we get back up here. But this is the last opportunity to short. This is the last opportunity to long. And at the end of the day, you can kind of treat it as a volume profile, right? Get back into the range. POC is likely next. If you don't get the higher low here and you lose the POC 786, value area low is next. What do I do when I get down to the value area low? I'm looking for longs. So the biggest levels to get on your chart right now, I'll give you 3 of them. To the upside, it's about $75,000. If we can get above that and hold, we have the open door, $278,000 to $80,000. If we come back down, key level number 1, POC Golden Pocket 786, last resort level. Really between the value area low, sitting at 66,000, all the way down to about 63,851. Can't hold this, gotta hold this. Can't hold this, I'm looking for the big drop. Does that make sense? The thing that really makes this difficult, to be honest, is the fact that we're in a bear market, right? Again, like if this was a different environment, I'd feel really good about all this higher time frame money flow. Like, oh my God, guys, money flow coming up. So how do I handle this? Like, I take this at face value. It would not be shocking either way, only because of the bearish environment, right? It's like money flow's coming up, continuation of the upside. I always view that at face value. I'm going to be looking for lackluster pullbacks, higher lows and higher highs. We make money doing that. If it fakes out, I'll be like, whatever. Not shocking in a bear market. Well, great. I'll just continue to make money. Now, the short positions are a little bit more difficult, right? Because if I were not holding any shorts, I'd be sitting only in the long position right now. Luckily, I didn't get stopped out of my short from here, so that's still open. But, for me, that's the biggest area to look. Other than that, you're kind of stuck looking for, like, local entries, maybe get back inside the profile, and then, look to the POC and the value area low. So shorts are a little bit more difficult. But, yeah, definitely interested in these levels as we have money flow coming up. If it fails, yikes. That's where the 2-day red dot will likely print, and we can look for that high time frame bull div. Let's see. Bulls versus Bears. Yeah, shout out to Guru Queen. I think that says, or Q6 E6N. Yeah, Bulls versus Bears for sure. Into the low volume gap. Yeah, I assume everybody's preference is the low volume gap. I'm probably the only person that would prefer the drop down. Let's see. What about Bear Moon on the 18th, Frankie? Shout out to The Godfather. Is there a Bear Moon on the 18th? I don't know. Not something I pay attention to, but we'll see. Maybe it'll play out. but yeah, again, when it comes to from a sentiment perspective, guys, like I would say I'm definitely open to this. If it doesn't play, looking to take out the lows. If I were not holding a long position, maybe I would look for, of course, right, like key support. I'm kind of glad I don't have to fight here. Because, of course, you guys know I don't really love taking trades in the middle of the range. But, POC, when it's confluent in a specific situation like this where it's confluent with the golden pocket 786, it's definitely a valid long. You just got to be careful around that value area high. But, yeah, for me personally, right, like if you guys want to know my personal trading plan with the positions I'm in, right, if we get the move down, I'm not interested in this because I'm still holding the long from lower, right? But if we come down here, I'll get stopped out at break even on that long position, and then we're back down to the value area low. This is an area I'm always interested in longs. I'll take a shot here. If it stops out, guess what? I have all the shorts playing out in my favor. I'll get stopped out for a small loss, maybe at break even. I don't know the specific situation that'll happen, but then the shorts continue to pay me. So I personally, if I were not holding my long position, I'd be waiting for you could kind of make this a bigger zone. I would mark this out like this, right? Because the 786 is the line in the sand structurally that you want to hold for the higher low. But you do just have to understand, right? If price wicks to that daily MPOC, you really reclaim the 786. Well, you could view that as a hold. Get back in the value area low. POC is very likely next. Flip the POC back to the high. All right, so like would I be looking for longs here? Personally, no, right? Where do I look for longs? I look for my longs as price is dumping into my key levels. So I'm not saying you can't take a long here and it plays out. This is just not where I would be looking. You also don't have any real bearish divergences up here. So, again, I wouldn't even say like this is necessarily a great value area trade as a deviation because you don't have an entry trigger, right? You don't have the bearish divergences or anything like that unless you caught the reverse knife up here. It's not like if I had divs up here, if I had bearish divergences, well, hey, that would be really nice. If I had like a bearish divergence here, well, hey, bearish divergence, get back into the range, back to the POC, lose the POC, back down to the low. We don't have those divergences. So I personally would not be taking a trade up here. I'd be interested in this. I'd be interested in this. These are the two main areas I'm looking at, right? Over the weekend, if we pull back down in here, we hold this as a higher low. I probably won't even know. I'll be visiting family this weekend, so I probably won't be on the charts, but I'll stay in my long position, and that would not shock me. So there you go. Biggest key levels to mark off on your chart right now, because I am actually limited on time today because I got to hit the road here soon. Golden Pocket, 786, between $67,400 and $68,000. First area for higher low. Lose this, look for the full fill of the range. Last area to look, reclaim the 786. Another opportunity for the bounce. Once we lose this, looking for the big move down. Very simple. I'm viewing it like this until we lose this. This is the invalidation for the idea of the continuation of this uptrend. And again, if we continue up from this value area high, that's fine with me. Long from down here. Again, I would not be looking for longs here personally. Let's see. Shout out to Wake Up USA says 4-year cycle says last drop to the bottom. That's like my preference, right? Again, we've talked about this many a times when we look at the previous cycles. Of course, I prefer to see those last drops down for a bullish divergence, right? Very, very clear low here. Money flow comes back up. Strong sign the bottom's in. Once we break above 30K, bull market commence, right? Beautifully played the previous cycle with my entry price down here. 2017, or 2018 rather, we didn't get the weekly div, but we did get the daily bullish divergence here, right? We come down, we wiggle around, one last low, then you can continue up. The one time we did not get that was in 2015. Big capitulation, right? We never revisited the low. We didn't get any bullish divergences. So again, I've talked about many a times is like the reason I prefer the low is because it would give me a really clear sign if we get that 2-day bullish divergence. It would give me like a really nice sign. Like now we have that last drop down. We have the 2-day bullish divergence, a nice high time frame confirmation. Anytime we see these, they are typically very nice bottom signals for big moves up, especially if money flow can cross back into the green. This would look a lot cleaner to me. This would make sense for the 4-year cycle, one last capitulation down. But from a long-term spot perspective, like I said, dollar cost averaging in here for me personally is a valid thought, or a valid action, I should say. And then, bottom watch 2026, guys. I don't know. Nobody knows if it's going to be like 2018, where we just capitulate, wiggle around, and get the move up with no divergence. That is possible. And there's no saying whether we're going to get that div. I prefer this because it's easier to say, hey, now we have nice confirmation. It's a much easier call to say, like, I like this. Here, I'm kind of neutral because it's like, yes, we can get that squeeze to 80K, but if we have to go down for one more low, it would also make sense to me. So that's why I say I'm a little bit more neutral here. But again, to be clear, a lot of people think like, oh, you're neutral. It could go up, could go down. How do you make money? We make the money, right? It comes into your more detailed trading plan by taking positions at your key levels of confluence with your overall sentiment in mind, right? Again, I'm in a position here where it could go up, could go down. Either way, I'm going to capitalize on that, right? That's the skill you want to build. You don't want to come in here and gamble. You want to turn from a probability, from a prediction mindset. Everyone wants to know, are we going to 80K or 60K first? That is a gamble, right? You have a 50-50 shot of being right about that. And maybe you go to 80K first, maybe you go to 60K first. That's not how you make money, right? I would never just say, if I was in no trades right now, I wouldn't say, I think 80K is coming in first, even though I don't have a strong confirmation of it. I would never just gamble on a massive position here and go up, right? I'm a technical trader, putting us in very, very nice situations, right? And you can see we're trying to, right? If we can get up here and stay, very quick move through this low volume gap. Guys, if we get the move to 80K, I will bring this box back up, and it will very likely be a fast move, right? And we'll be like, how magical are the volume gaps, right? But it's very, I'm a trader, right? So we have to anticipate, like, that 16-hour red dot prints, we can go down. This is where a lot of people get confused. Well, we could go down, but then back up. Yes, that's how the market moves, right? You have to understand this to be able to make money. So 16-hour red dot, we get the pullback. That's where I'm watching the key level of the Golden Pocket 786 PLC. That's your chance for a higher low and a higher high. If we lose that, you have the value area low 786 sitting down there that we just looked at. Once we lose that, that idea is invalidated. The fake out on money flow is probably happening. The 2-day red dot is probably printing, and that's where I'll be looking for this. But again, either way, I'll be making money, right? So it doesn't matter. I don't have to be sure about this move up. I don't have to be sure about the move down, at least at this point. If I wasn't positioned the way I was, maybe I'd be more interested in trying to find a local entry here, but I'm just personally not, right? I took the trades at my key levels. Why did I take the trade here? Not because I thought 60K was incoming. It's because I hit a key level with confirmations. I take the trade. If it turns into a bigger swing trade, beautiful. Why did I take the long here? It's not because I thought we would go to 80K 100%. It's because we hit our key level, the value area low, with confirmation. I look for the full fill of the volume profile, and at this point, the first part of that trade is finished, right? Value area low, flip the POC to the value area high, and now we're trying to break out. Right? And again, when we look for these volume profiles to either break up or down, I would say from a money flow perspective, it does look a little more likely that this will eventually break up. Is that 100% guaranteed? No, but the money flow does look good. Let's see. Looks good to me. Yeah, shout out to Cozy. Kazi Got? I don't know how to say that. But yeah, I would say from a money flow perspective, looks good for a continuation up. From a structure perspective, still good for a move up. Wouldn't be until we lose that 65K zone where I'd be looking for the move down. Line in the sand. 75K, squeeze open, lose 65K, squeeze down. Until then, if I had to look for trades, I'd be looking at these key levels of support. Could you hold the value area high? Yes. Let's see. Shout out to Servando Estrada. Said, please like, share, and subscribe. He said it, not me. Smash that like button. Shout out to Bubble Man. Said, hey, yo. What's up, Bubble Man? Welcome in. Welcome in. Shout out to Overcome. Said, I hear you, but when are we going to the moon? Trump is live right now, Frankie. What's he going to do to BTC? Oh, God. Shout out to JJ. Oh, man. Maybe just a little bit of volatility. Again, not something I really pay too much attention to. Take a look at some of these lower time frames. Yeah, I mean, locally, if you want to go like hyper local, value area high is your next key level of support. Get accepted in here. I'd be expecting the POC, which again is just in that bigger key level of support. So we'll see. Locally, value area high sitting at about $70,745. We'll see if we want to get accepted in there. Take a look at the 8-hour time frame. 8-hour red dot potentially looking to print, but again, money flow. Very important to realize, guys. Red dots, a lot of people are like, oh my God, red dot, we're going down. Sure, right? But remember, the easiest way I can explain market cipher on the momentum waves with the green dots and the money flow. Green dot, red dot, green dot, red dot, green dot, red dot, green dot. That's what the green and red dots indicate, right? The money flow, here's your zero line. If your money flow is in a red wave crossing into the green, the money flow crossover into the green does not indicate a massive move up. Sometimes you get a money flow crossover and immediately start going down because there's a red dot. The money flow indicates this. The red and the green dots, red dot, green dot, indicate the ebbs and the flows, right? Very simple way to look at the market. That's why at this value area low, we were looking for longs because we have money flow trending up. Green dot, red dot, green dot, red dot, green dot. Money flow coming up. Potential open possibility for the continuation of the trend. Money flow indicates this. Green and red dots, green dot, red dot, green dot, red dot, green dot, red dot, green dot, red dot. Green dots and red dots indicate the ebbs and flows. Money flow indicates the trend. Anytime I have money flow crossing into the green, I am looking for lackluster pullbacks, higher lows, and higher highs, as discussed earlier. If I don't get confirmation here, well, probably going lower, right? Next place to look for confirmation is here. Don't get confirmation here, I'm looking lower, where the shorts continue to play out. Sometimes you'll wait for a key level, right? Like today, right? I was looking at this sweep of the high. I didn't get the sweep of the high. Am I FOMOing short? Absolutely not, right? It did not hit my key level. This was the area where I look to make money. I look for the confirmations. If I don't hit that level, I don't take the trade, right? Doesn't mean there was no trade to take here. You could have been looking at something else. But for me personally, if I don't take the level, I don't take the trade. Let's see. If XRP Ripon greedy team didn't buy companies that do nothing for XRP price and Brad's excessive net worth, excessive net worth is hilarious, of $10 billion bucks, XRP price would be at $5 to $7 right now. Man, those are actual technical targets as well, $5 to $7. Very nice stream. Shout out to Red Dead. Appreciate you, brother. Shout out to Saba, says, what confirmations are you looking for at the value area high and the value area lows to enter the short or long respectively? Shout out to Saba. We do that more in the premium Discord where I talk about the actual like entry triggers that I'm looking at. But those are definitely the next key levels of interest, right? Because I always say trading is a game of trapping, not a game of hunting. I set my traps in the market, right? We had this trap sitting up here forever, even all the way back here. We didn't hit it. Not that we don't take shorts off of other reasons, but I look for the short up there. At the daily MPOCs, we front run it. Level still sitting up there, right? Those daily MPOCs were sitting like right up here. Oh my God, if we hit up here, nice level, don't hit it. Oh, maybe we'll hit it. Not going to hit it, right? We still make money within the range trading other signals, but that's the area of interest. Once we get in there, that's where we say, hey, what confirmations are we looking for? What's the plan for that actual trade? Which obviously we cover in the premium Discord. I kind of show my exact trading plans, my exact confirmations that I like to see. And of course, if I'm in there and I take the trade, I always let people know not to be traded as signals. I just keep them updated on exactly where and when I'm taking those trades. But the area of interest is here. Whoops. Those areas of interest that we are watching, or that I'm personally interested in, are right here, and right here, right? If we hit up here, I see the confirmations, I'll take the trade. If I don't see the confirmations, I don't take the trade. Very simple. Trap, trap, trap. If I don't hit the trap, there's nothing to do. Shout out to Panda the Prophet. Don't worry, the support at 0 will hold. All right, let's see here. Yeah, the war couldn't send it below 60K. That is interesting, right? That is interesting. What do we usually see? Right, I think a lot of those, and again, not that if we get some crazy news, it escalates or something, we get another drop down, definitely possible. But, you know, one thing we talked about here on the initial drop to the downside and why we were looking lower was, you know, there was no real fear. You know, where does a bottom typically come in? Typically, there's some kind of narrative that comes in. We're starting to see that a little bit geopolitically. So, you know, especially if we get another drop down on bad news, it's like typically that bad news, take it back here. What was the bad news last cycle? Terra Luna, FTX. Once Terra Luna happens, we start to get the big drop down right here. It's like, all right, we're probably going to break to the downside. Terra Luna happens, fill in the blank. We're already looking for the continuation down based off the technicals, but fill in those narratives wherever you please. Who knows what they're going to be? Black swans are typically unpredictable, but you get that big drop down. Are you better off expecting the bear market to begin here, or are you going to be looking for bottoms? Doesn't mean price can't go lower, but it's like you've already seen the bearish confirmations continue to play out. Money flow on the weekly is in the red. I covered this extensively the other day. This is not typically where you anticipate the bear market to begin, right? It's like this is where you're going to be better off looking for bottoms. Yes, you go lower, right? It's not about calling it to the tick bottom. You are going to be better off looking for bottoms to form. I'm not interested in sniping the exact bottom, saving all my capital to buy in where I think the exact tick bottom is. It's all about a dollar cost average. And historically, 100% of the time, once that weekly money flow crosses over, you get your first big capitulation down. That is where you're going to start looking for the bottoms to come in, which is why, I've been looking at this. Not that price can't continue down, but this is where I'd be interested in looking for a bottom to form. And typically, when you get bullish news, that's where tops come in. Right? Usually when you have bearish news, that's where bottoms come in. So I don't know if it's over, but you're starting to see that kind of bearish sentiment, bearish narratives come in, right? Which would still just line up with me looking for bottoms, right? Whether it's in or we have to go down for one more drop. I am interested in bottom watch 2026 until we lose 47K. Once we lose 47K, yikes, we're going to have to start looking much lower. But until then, right, weekly money flow has never told me that once it crosses over and you get a big capitulation, that is the start of the bear market. Price has gone down further, but it's not the start of the big move down, right? So we'll see, and I'll keep you guys updated every single step of the way. Luna Crash was insane. Yeah, and it's usually very scary, right? Like, when I'm buying through all that, I'm like, oh, my God. Oh, man. I feel like a moron. But typically the good buys are hard buys. Bullish tops, bearish bottoms. Absolutely. It's literally the same thing, right? Literally, we had people up here saying the bull market was just starting, where I kind of come in and say, just starting? Really? You think this is just starting? How could you think that? I don't know, right? It's just like, I don't know. I just don't know, especially with the massive bearish confirmations we got up here. Like, pretty much nailed the top here. Not, oh, my God, we hit under 26K, the top is in. But once you start doing the analysis and you understand you have key levels underneath you with massive fills of volume profiles down below, with money flow coming out, the timing of the cycle, the massive weekly bearish divergences, it was literally almost one-to-one exactly what we saw in 2021. A little bit of like an easier call there, to be honest. It's the same thing here, right? People are bullish, higher low, higher high. I don't know about that. Continuation down. All right, fine, we're in a bear market. Even if we do continue down and we go up first, right? People are like, fine, we're in a bear market here. And then they're like, oh, wait. And like, all right, fine, it's a bull market. Wreck them. People get stuck on the opposite, the wrong side of that ping pong game for sure. Shout out to Mikey, said, when free hats, I might have to buy one if I don't win another one soon. Shout out to Mikey. I actually told a great premium. Shout out to Mansoor. Thanks for being in that stream, brother. But yeah, my hats are kind of destroyed. I have to have Tony send me a care package. Tony, just send me one of every color, brother. These are getting... Mrs. Candles put this on and her makeup got all on the inside of the hat. And now the inside of it's all nasty. Wreck 'em all. Yeah, shout out to Meister. Yeah, it's typically how it goes, right? Wish I had $1 every time he said shout out. I wouldn't have to trade anymore. Shout out to Gomer. Or let's see. That's another big one. Always the same pattern. Yeah, shout out to Wisdom. We're going to turn you into Wiz Smart. But yeah, it's just time and time again, guys. It's like the psychology of the markets just continue to play out. That's why I prefer to react off of binary confirmation on the chart. There is no emotion involved, right? If I had gotten stopped out of this short, which of course is not the case, if I had gotten stopped out of this short, I wouldn't say, oh my God, that was a terrible trade, right? I take these trades because there is a much higher probability of them playing out in my favor. Does not mean 100% of the time. Trading is a game of probabilities. There was a chance and a probability that this just stopped out and we got the squeeze sooner than later. In that case, I would have taken this as a small loss. And next time I saw a setup like this, I would take it again with a good risk management, right? 8 out of 10 times, 7 out of 10 times, whatever it is, you're going to have you have to let time go by. You're going to lose trades. You're going to take a beautiful trade setup sometimes, and it's not going to play out. More often than not, it will. So if I got stopped out of this, and I saw that same setup over here, I would take that setup again if I got the confirmations. So you have to try to flip your ideas, right, or your mindset from a prediction-based mindset to a, the prediction-based mindset, people are just going to continue to get wrecked, right? It's a lot of fun to say like, oh, 80K first, 50K first. That's not how you make money. We're here to make money. right? We're here to cash in on the high probability trades and hedge ourselves and actually extract money from the market, not make a random gamble and hope it's right. I have a hard time sticking to the plan. Shout out to Bailey. Everybody has a hard time sticking to the plan. That's like it's one of the things. It's like, again, you could take sometimes following the plan and sticking to the plan ends in a loss, which makes it harder to stick to the plan next time, right? If the plan is, hey, look for X confirmation at this key level, take a short, you get stopped out. The next time you see that trade, your brain's going to be like, no, last time it didn't play out. It must have been wrong, right? No, the plan is see the confirmation, hit the key level, see the confirmation, take the trade. That's the plan. If this doesn't play out and you stop out and you take a loss, hopefully a small controlled loss, the next time that sets up, your brain's going to be like, it's not going to go key level, entry trigger, take the trade. It's going to go, last time that didn't play out, you took a loss. That loss hurt your ego. That made you emotional. Don't take the trade again, right? And then that's how you end up missing trades. You just want to stick to the plan. And you could get stopped out of 2 of these in a row. The third time I see it, I'm still going to take it because I know there's a higher probability that over time, over 100 trades, it's going to play out more than it won't. And even if it didn't, the losses are smaller than the wins. All right, if I get stopped out on this and then I wound up taking the trade later and it played out, I'm taking a tiny loss and then taking a massive gain. That's how you make money, right? Not by guessing or predicting whether you're going to get 80K first or 70K first. Sometimes, and like even when I do have a clear plan of that, like here, obviously, I would say here, generally, the chances of, seeing 70K first or 60K first before 150K is very high probability. But I don't trade based off that. I keep it as a bias, right? But I don't trade based off that. The reason I took this trade was not because I was saying, we're not going to the 50-week moving average. We're going down first. I took it because I saw confirmations, and I take that locally within this profile. And then once we start losing the range with money flow coming out, my bias is very likely correct, and we can hold it for a much bigger drop down. I don't take this because it's like, we're not going to the 50-week. I take it because I hit a key level with confirmation. I take the trade. It's very binary. It's very systematic. And again, you have to learn this stuff. Shout out to Crypto King, said, I followed my plan yesterday, got stopped out, and it was a decent-sized loss, but the setup repeated. I believed my strategy, and today was more profitable than yesterday was a loss. Shout out to Crypto King, bro. You made it. If you could repeat that over and over, you've gotten to the light at the end of the tunnel. Mrs. Candles! Somebody either just broke into my house. It's okay, though. Got the blicky. Come on in, Mrs. Candles. Is that you, or are you an intruder? Make yourself known. LSPD. Los Santos Police. Come here. Get in here, Mrs. Candles. She's yelling at me. She's like, we got to go. We got to go. Come here, Mrs. Candle. Let me see that dang hand. Let me see that hand. Don't give me attitude in front of my friends. My friends are here. Be nice to me. Let me see the hand. Let me see the hand. Be nice.
Stop. We got to go.
All right. Bye. Bye, sweetie. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. She's pissed. She's pissed. Oh, Mrs. Candles sacrifices for the mafia, let me tell you. Shout out to Y. He said, I'm done venting about the XRP greedy Ripple team. She's angry. Yeah, she's she's mad. It's the blow-up doll. Yeah, she's inflated. If you inflate her enough, she walks around and moves. She's Mrs. Candles is a stressed traveler. I'm like the opposite. I'm like, all right, let's go. Catch the flight. Do. She's like, oh my God, what? She heard me. She said that's because you don't do any of the packing. Oh, she's not wrong. She's like the travel advisor. She's all stressed out. She has a suitcase just for shoes. It's out of control. Go, bro. You can't. I'm not leaving. All right. But, guys, that's I'll give you a quick recap here. High time frame money flow, 16-hour, 12-hour money flow coming in and crossing over into the green. This gives me the open opportunity to look for lackluster retracements for higher lows and higher highs. The biggest levels to watch, in my opinion, are going to be the 68,845 Golden pocket down to the 67,260, 786 with the POC confluence. That is the biggest level to look at. Of course, I cannot guarantee you see that. Could you hold here? Yes. I'm not worried about that because I am positioned from the last high probability zone. I do not oftentimes take longs at the high. I only take shorts. So money flow coming into the green. Once we see these high time frame hourly red dots, we can look for pullbacks for the lackluster retracements. Tony D, let's run the giveaways. We got 10 free bags of USCT. Tony, run those really quickly. I don't want to skip those today. But lackluster retracements for higher lows and higher highs still open. Key level number 1, key level number 2. Line in the sand is the inability to reclaim the 786 or value area low. If we could reclaim this zone, higher low is still open. If we reject it and we cannot see it, get stuck underneath here, lose the daily MPOC, that's for the bigger move to the downside. To the upside, I am still interested. Still interested in potential shorts from the swing high here that we front ran earlier today. And if we flip it, right, that's your doorway to $78,000 to $80,000. Doorway to 78 to 80. Doorway to a new low on Bitcoin. Until then, I'm looking for higher lows and higher highs. We'll see what happens. Either way, I'm glad as I'm traveling here, I'm positioned very nicely. I could just come back to the chart on Monday, and I'll either be stopped out of a long, stopped out of a short. Other trades are running, or maybe we'll just be sitting right here. So that's what I'm looking at, guys. Sorry for the short stream, but I do have to go. Mrs. Candles, if she gets mad, she actually gets physical. And you can't call, I can't report domestic violence as a man. It's just like, whatever, beat me. I don't care. I'm just kidding. I got to go help out Mrs. Candles. But, guys, thank you for being here. I appreciate every single one of you guys. And I actually have, I have my timer. I got 1 minute and 10 seconds left on the timer, so I'm almost perfect timing here. But thank you all for being here. I'm going to continue to hold the trades. If you guys appreciate the stream, smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss these levels and these key long and short zones. So you're not just taking trades in random areas, so you can learn an actual system to learn how to extract money out of the market, whether price goes up or down, like we do here in the Candle Mafia. Thank you guys for being here. Check out the links in the description down below if you want to help support the channel. You're looking for a place to trade. You want to check out any of the indicators. And with all that being said, that's all I got. Asta pasta. I'm coming, Mrs. Okay. Oh, my God. She's got the broomstick. I'll see you guys on Monday. That's all I got. Asta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor,